Well, this is it. Let's go ahead and rescue Princess Peach by the evil clutches of Bowser Jr. And, well, I'm probably not gonna explain more details about it before we're able to actually get on to the main final world in the game. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm back for some more of, yet again, for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine from the Nintendo GameCube. So, last time we have managed to able to 100% through not only Pianta Village, but also we did manage to revisiting back to the forms of the Delfino airstrip, so that way we can able to actually get ourselves another Shine Sprite on that particular familiar location ever since the very beginning of the game. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll present to you the grand finale of this game's Let's Play. And while that's been done, I'm pretty sure we pretty much guarantee we've pretty much concluded the majority of the 3D Mario games from now on. Sure, there are some missing exceptions, specifically, you know, Luigi's Bloom World's reward, if you manage to obtain the 50 stars in Super Mario Odyssey, but that's besides the point. Here we are, folks. This is the final world in the game. This appears to be known as Corona Mountain. Again, in order to actually get to this place, we need to defeat Shadow and Mario for about 7 times in episode 7 in each and every single world, including Bianco Hills, Recco Harbor, Gelato Beach, Peanut Park, and Serona Beach, Nuki Bay, and finally Pianta Village. And then once you accomplish those, then you would able to actually trigger a cutscene, or I should say a mini cutscene, which actually features Shadow and Mario trying to dive into the water, and then he was pretty much getting close towards the forms of the actual Corona Mountain itself, and also Delfino Plaza itself is actually completely flooded. So then once you're entering this particular hole, then this actually leads us to the forms of, well, what else? Corona Mountain itself. Now this is, if I'm not mistaken this correctly, perhaps it's one of the hardest final levels in any 3D Mario game. Specifically, the normal final levels, not counting the forms of the special worlds, mind you, but just to be more specifically, the hardest main final worlds in this game, because in this beginning portion of this particular world, as you can see, it's entirely in lava, which almost kind of reminds me of something related to Sonic Rush Adventure from the Nintendo DS, where the final level in that game, or the extra zone I should say, actually takes place in Deep Core, which actually represents the lava-themed volcanical thing, which can be also the same applies for this game as well, except the fact that it takes place in a different kind of, well, you know, worlds. You know what I mean. So, basically, in the beginning portion right there, well, the one we've already just passed through, there's going to be filled to the brim with all kinds of booby traps, specifically flamethrowers, or in this case the actual flames, and also these deadly spikes. Why deadly spikes, as I say that? Well, as soon as you get touched by the lava, or the fire, or the spikes, you will attempt to instantly get death. So, in this case, instant death, mind you. And also, once you get past through all that stuff, prepare yourselves is probably the hardest part about this level, and that appears to be this little boat thing here. Now, you're probably thinking about the fact that, have you already done that before, ever since in Nuki Bay? Well, only for just once. In here, though, however, we have to use that at least, you know, at all times, because if you really want to go for not only just trying to get into the forms of the true final boss in the game, but also, as you can see, well, the first blue coin is not so bad to get, but as for the rest of them, however, though, as you can see, these blue coins are spread apart, and in order to actually just obtain them, you have to make sure you need to get a lot of usage of the forms of the boat's controls. So here's the thing though, well thankfully though, in this particular level right here, you can obviously try to able to grab that extra life again, so just in case you can able to actually just to restock them every time you're able to actually just to die. And also, there's going to be the only one enemy that's going to be involved in this, which I honestly rarely just trying to deal with, and that is these fire Cheep Cheeps, which are kind of like the equivalents to the mini Cheep Cheeps, except they all just covered in flames. So, yeah, definitely one of the hardest of the normal final levels in the Super Mario 3D series of games. Well, At least if you really don't want to count the special worlds, because the special worlds in the future 3D Mario games, specifically Super Mario Galaxy, the original game, specifically in the Star Festival, wasn't all that challenging. It's just all the nice little chill out moments. And then in Galaxy 2 contains Grandmaster Galaxy, which contains one of the more difficult missions in the game. Oh, jeez Louise, that was so close. I almost fell straight into the lava when I was trying to able to hang on to this, you know, this boat right there. But anyway, and also in Super Mario 3D Land contains a Special World 8-Crown, which obviously is the more tougher stages in the game. Unless if you're trying to utilize the, obviously the Tanuki Surge, then you will be okay. And as far as the Super Mario 3D World is concerned, the Champion's Road, easily the toughest levels in any 3D Mario games. Specifically, not only the hardest special level in the game, but also the hardest levels in the whole entire series. And as far as Super Mario Odyssey is concerned, the darker side, unless if you try to perform a nice little shortcut skip, specifically the one you know what I'm talking about with the gliding and everything, it's actually not too tricky, but even then it might be pretty tough in some areas, so either way. But this is definitely one of the hardest main normal final levels of the entire series, at least in my opinion, because, well, if you really want to go for these every single blue coins, as I said before, well, you're just gonna have to go with it. So either way though, unless there's actually a trick you can able to perform, well, it's only for the matter of trying to able to get yourselves into the normal blue coins, well, almost nearby blue coins I should say, but it's also just kind of slow too, when if you're trying to able to go for these blue coins, so... But thankfully though, this is the final world to able to feature, not only for the sake of the forms of those, for the sake of trying to able to actually just to rescue Princess Peach, but it's also the fact that this is the final world to feature those blue coins. And then once we're done with those, thankfully there's all 10 of them in total, unlike the forms of the previous worlds, including Dolfino Plaza itself. That it sometimes usually gives us like 20 blue coins on Dolfino Plaza, and as well as 30 of those blue coins in these main worlds, but this world only contains like 10 blue coins, so I'm quite okay with that, despite how spaced out they are. But even then though, when you're trying to get the hang of it though, especially noticeable that you always have to rely on the boat in order to able to actually just to go and do some careful navigation, especially because of how the fact that this particular level can get super tough if you're not knowing what you're doing, especially how I've almost gonna hit the actual rock. By the way, if you do manage to let the boat hit into any side of a wall, or especially noticeable with these little rock poles and stuff, well, what happens is, as you can tell, the boat will start to sink, and, well, the only option for you is to either recover from it by simply using a hover nozzle, or you can just commit suicide and then just trying to go for the entire level again. So, and then thankfully you can able to actually save your progression when it comes to the blue coins aside of that. So either way though, okay, so let's carefully grab that blue coin, and we got 5 more to go. So yeah, I can't even believe we're getting close to this point. Yeah, we are getting very close. I'm hoping I can get this this blue coin marathon hunting will be done for good, because let me tell you, it is the most the tedious part about this sometimes, because either way though, that might be some little bit more of a harsh thing to say. So yeah, because if you couldn't tell already, obviously today's day is the forms of the 30th of March into 2020. So in this case, that how the fact that we might able to actually end this off in the forms of, well, the end of March basically. Speaking of such, it smacks on the wall, and thankfully we can able to grab some of the blue coins. Oh, there's no way I can get this one over there in the distance, but on the upside though, we can at least try to able to grab one from here, and we can also grab this one here. Well, it's just all depending on timing, by the way, if you want to do this method, because you need to time your jumps just a little, so just in case you can able to grab that blue coin again, and once again I'm jumping slightly higher than little jumps. So we got 3 left, and there's also one from over here. I could have saved this one for last just to make things a little bit easier for ourselves, but oh jeez, I don't know which one should I go for. no matter what though, I should probably go for this one. And as far as for my third attempt on this level, then I should probably obtain the final blue coin, and then hopefully the blue coins collectathon will be finished and done and over with. Even though it might take me about a few minutes to able to actually just to get to that stuff, so... At least thankfully for me though, apart from the fact that this might be result in instant death traps, as you can see right there, I found for the most part it's pretty easy to go through, especially if you have yourself a hover nozzle with you. But if you do somehow not pay attention to those kinds of stuff, then, well, you'll be pretty much going to be dealt for. Well, at least as far as... It's hard to explain about this sometimes, because I know for the fact that, well, I suppose that one thing that Piglet has not even mentioned about this since yesterday, apart from the fact that you know how recently that the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on the Nintendo Switch finally got its release date after, you know, the Nintendo Direct Mini, as what Piglet has already established that earlier. That, the fact of the matter is, though, is the fact that that particular version of the game on the Switch were about to come out until a week after the Wonderful 101 Remaster will get its release as well. Like, the Wonderful 101 Remaster is obviously going to be releasing on the 22nd of May, both on Nintendo Switch and PS4, and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is going to be released on 29th of May, so should be exciting, but I need to double check off the actual the gameplay aspect of the Wonderful 101 Remastered before I'm able to get the game, because I didn't get the Wii version back, the Wii U version back in the day, because I wasn't into it at first. But either way though, we'll see what happens there when that time comes, but then again though, it's just a matter of the preference anyway, so... Yes, that is worth mentioning. So anyway, let's just go ahead and just be very careful here, and hopefully we could able to grab this final blue coin in the process, and hopefully it should be done by then. And in fact, the last blue coin is just right over here, so even then though, once we're done. But then again, what makes this a little bit difficult in order to be able to do this is the fact that you have to be carefully trying to steer your boat, because otherwise, again, if you let the boat knocked over, then obviously you'll be done, so... Unless if you're trying to able to go all the way back to the beginning of the level again, so... I'm guessing that might makes a little bit more of a obvious answer for this point, so... Alright, yeah, let's just screw it and take a risk, and there we go! We got all the blue coins, and what's we might deserve? A plummet down to the lava. Nah, just only kidding. Just for, you know, for my insanity for able to hunt for those blue coins. So anyways, before we get on to the actual, the final boss in the game, you know, with how the fact that, well, recently we've now finally got ourselves 240 blue coins now. So what can we do with them? Well, you know, with that particular familiar building in Reko Harbor, in fact, before we get onto that actually, let me just go ahead and try to do this with Yoshi, because yes, I think Yoshi needs a pair, so that way we can able to actually just to try to celebrate with me and Yoshi, just trying to able to spend on those blue coins. You know this Reko Harbor kind of building like this? Well, there was actually a doorway that we can able to enter in, and as you can see for these two characters here, that way we need to able to actually just, well, if the B button shows up, this way it gives us the opportunities to able to spend on the blue coins and exchange them to the forms of the Shine Sprites themselves. In this case, we got 240 of those blue coins, and as soon as you spend those blue coins, then you get yourselves 24 of those Shine Sprites. So yeah, that's quite a lot of Shine Sprites right there. So yeah, no refunds, I'll need to definitely take them, for my insanity goes on, well, kaboom. But there we go, we are done with the blue coins. But now it's mainly focusing on the final thing from now on, and that is of course the Corona Mountain itself. Which thankfully we need to go for the entirety of the level as normal, so thankfully though we don't have to worry about the forms of likely just, you know, just trying missing on something. But before we get onto that, however though, there's one little thing I forgot to show you guys about something, and that was the fact that with, you know, with that Pianto over there, if you try to talk to him, then he'll actually give you something quite nicely ordinary. Such as, for instance, that Mario, he's actually going to be wearing his sunglasses, which, makes it a little bit obvious for that perfect fitting for him, just because this game is entirely related to summer, which, even then, this game always reminds me like I was then having fun on summertime. But anyway, so yeah, if you manage to wear the sunglasses, as you can see, the actual tone of the color is getting slightly darker, but then if you manage to able to try to talk to him again, and then you can want to able to take these sunglasses off again, then you were able to actually return back into its normal color state. So, just want to point that out. There's also another reward you can get, but it's only when you try to able to finish the main game first. But we'll discuss more of that later. So either way, yeah, as you can see, we're now going to be revisiting back to Corona Mountain for the final time, and because of that, now we need to eventually rescuing Princess Peach and trying to stop Bowser Jr. in the process, and hopefully we would be able to actually restore peace in addition to rescuing Princess Peach, we might also try to restore every single pieces of, well, every single aspects of the actual Delfino Plaza itself. So, yeah, that's how the ultimate main purposes of this, however, though. So either way, though, yes, let's just get this into it. I suppose another thing I should probably talk about this also, despite the fact that Piglet has not mentioned about this either. Unfortunately for the Wonder Woman 1984, the upcoming film that was supposed to be releasing until at some point on the 5th of June. Sadly, it's been delayed, but thankfully it's only for like 2 months away, specifically on summer in August, probably because of how the fact that then again the coronavirus is a thing. But at least I'm not negative about this though, because, well, since after all the Nintendo Direct is now finally up ever since in, well, I would say in 4 days ago. Well, despite it was actually the mini version of that, but at least I don't mind about it too much, as what Piglet has already established that before, myself included, so... But I digress. So anyways, let's go ahead and just be very careful around here, so just in case we don't get bashed into any of those walls over there, specifically this one here. Oh, can we make it, can we make it, can we make it, can we make it, please, please? Oh! Dang it. I'm telling you, this is the hardest part about this stage. Because, again, if you mess up with that specific steering, with the actual boat itself, well, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on that sometimes, if most people seem to have first time playing for this though, so... Oh well, we'll try this again. I can't even believe I died to this, but specifically for this stage, like a couple of times, because I cannot even believe how brutal this stage can be sometimes, especially with all these traps and everything they always attempt to lay out for. So I can expect it to believe how difficult this world can be sometimes. But usually, relatively speaking, since after all we've actually got ourselves the one last final shrine sprite in the game, and that appears to be on this particular level, so even then. Now if you're probably wondering what this mission is actually going to be involved in Corona Mountain, well, we'll point it out whenever we get onto the very top of this, for the most part. No. Stay away from the rock. Oh, phew, thank goodness for that. Anyway, let's just carefully just steer us around, and... Well, at least we've almost at the, well, I would say we now reached onto, the 61-ups, count. So even then, though, we can expect we can able to actually get plentiful of extra lives, because then again, you can able to actually save those extra lives, just like in Super Mario 3D Land and, you know, Super Mario 3D World. I've already established that already since the very beginning of the Let's Play, don't I? Whatever. This is all convenience, that is, and let's not mention about that again, so... Anyways, let's just carefully try to steer it, and... Kind of wish we can able to actually steer the actual steering wheel, but you have to get a lot of usage on that flood, by the way, in order to actually just to progress, so... Something's worth mentioning, so... I suppose in Kept King 74 Let's Play of this, though, he tend to able to actually just to go ahead and... Well, just trying to deal with the actual blue coins within the music video itself. So, just want to classify that. Anyways, when you reach for this point, well, thankfully you can able to actually access to this rocket nozzle. And what you can do with it? Well, we need to go from cloud to cloud. So even then though, be sure you do not want to fall off at all times, because if you somehow fall off, especially noticeable it gets worse if you manage to accidentally land on the lava, well, you have to go for the entire level all over again, which... Thankfully for me, I was perfectly safe, so either way though, we need to be very cautious with all these camera angles as well as, you know, the actual depth of it, so hopefully we would be able to reach on top, so... But if you keep on doing this in the process though, assuming if you manage to reach onto the very top, which is on the dark red cloud, then we're able to blast off and booyah!
Wow! The water's great, hey Junior?
Sure is, Papa. Come on in, Mama Peach. I think not. Mario! You again? Don't you ever give up?
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?
Well, 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 if an unexpected surprise. Here we have, folks, the final boss in this game, which appears to be none other than not only Bowser Jr., but also Bowser himself. So I can't even believe Bowser was in there for this whole entire time. Along with Princess Peach, of course, but we still need to save her. Along with the final Shrine Sprite in the game. So basically in this entire final boss, as you can see, rather than just trying to deal with Bowser himself, as you can see, taking notice from the likes of that, you know, with the lighthouse bit, in the forms of in Dolfino Plaza as far as the main mission itself, basically, you know, with these marks that we've already come across into, what the? Did I just clip through that? Ah, I did not notice that. Oh well, let's try this again. So basically in this entire battle, we need to basically ground pound 5 of those specific points right here, and then you would able to actually just do this blast off into somewhere in the skies, and then do a massive ground pound, and vice versa, and there's not much else to this particular battle. Although keep that in mind is the fact that you need to avoid a lot of hazards, such as of course the returning bullet bills ever since in Peanut Park, and also same applies to the actual green. Why does my jump button not work half the time? And it's always the exact... Well, third time's a charm then. Thankfully, unlike in any other boss fights in the game, well, you're pretty sure you can able to actually respawn onto that specific segment again, so... But that's how it goes, basically. And another thing you need to avoid is the fact that with these, well, green water, which, sure, it looks a bit weird at first, but either way, though, that... Well, it kind of feels like kind of warm-ish, kind of. Anyway, let's just go ahead and just try this again. Hopefully trying to pass this without even getting too many emphasis on knockback. And there we go, that's more like it. Hopefully we're not going to get too much screwy over for this for the most part though. But either way though, let's just keep on moving, so... Alright, so we got 2 more to go, and hopefully by that time... Yeah, sometimes though, the green water will... Oh my goodness gracious me, no! Okay. Oh my god, that scared me. Oh, I almost gonna get myself, well, PSP robbed for that. Yeah, you have to avoid the green water as well, because the green water can actually hurt you, so... Yeah, I just want to keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure it's like steamingly hot water or something, but thankfully, much like the forms of Mecha Bowser, you can able to utilize water spray as soon as when Bowser uses flamethrowers, so... And there he goes. And there goes Bowser and Bowser Jr. And, well, here's the final Shrine Sprite, and let's watch the ending.
Oh.
Mario, was I, assist, Mario, look.
Junior, I've got something difficult to tell you about Princess Peach.
I know, she's not really my mama. Someday, when I'm bigger, I wanna fight that Mario again.
That's my boy. Well put, son. The Royal Koopa line is as strong as ever. But for now, let's just rest a while.
The vacation starts now.
By the way, you know if Bowser and Bowser Jr. managed to get stuck onto that one island, it always kind of reminds me of that ending sequence from Mario Party 7, where usually it has the exact same setting, except the fact that in Super Mario Sunshine was actually still in daylight, and as far as in Mario Party 7, it was actually in sunset, so... Anyways, what's my final thoughts of Super Mario Sunshine as far as you might expect at this point? I absolutely adored this game, even I loved it since as a kid. Sure, there are some questionable design choices, mainly with the forms of trying to be able to 100% the game. Well, I'll explain more about it until later, but either way though, let's just get into the positive stuff. First of all, the graphics themselves looks absolutely gorgeous, especially this is on the Nintendo GameCube. The soundtrack is magnificent, controls is perfection, especially because this is on the GameCube. This means with pivot points, with these octagonal pivot points, is actually remarkable, just like the forms of the Super Monkey Ball games basically. And also, the gameplay is, well, pretty fun. Just like in the forms of Super Mario 64, and the story itself is nothing remarkably special, but on the other hand though, the only downside to this though is the fact that, well, I feel like the voice acting in this game is actually kind of laughable. I mean, usually it was there for the sake of the forms of, well, I don't know, how do I explain about this? Even then, most people seem to complain about the fact that there was actually the only main Mario game to feature voiceovers in this, but usually such, that's all I can say about it. If you do manage to collect all 120 of those Shine Sprites, you get yourselves this, have a relaxing vacation. I think some people seem to say about the fact that this reward is actually pretty cool. On the other hand though, as far as achieving that reward, well, I would say nothing, because apart from the fact that you get that image, but also you can able to actually get yourselves something cool to wear through, at least if you manage to able to fight against with Bowser and Bowser Jr. at the end, and also you get yourselves a nice little sun drawing right here onto your profile, so even then representing, well, you actually 100% everything in this game. And also you get yourselves this new scene right here, which obviously that happens every time when you exit out the Corona Mountain, and then if you reset the game or anything. So I just want to point that out. So, yeah, you should definitely recommend this game. I should really wish if this game will be on Nintendo Switch as in the HD remake or anything like that to make things a little bit more awesome and everything. And speaking of Nintendo Switch actually, here's the forms of that reward after when you defeat the final boss in the game, which appears to be, well, you still have the sunglasses, but you get yourselves a nice cool tropical shirt on. Which, if you've been following through our Let's Play of Super Mario Odyssey, that particular costume will make its return in Super Mario Odyssey, except the noticeable difference is that rather than having FLUDD, instead you have Cappy. So yeah, as a result, it is a nice costume to wear. So yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. So I hope you guys are able to enjoy this Let's Play, and I certainly do enjoy this Let's Play in Fury, and what in the world? Yeah, that's what happens if you manage to clip through that right there, I just want to point it out. So anyways though, hope you guys do enjoy this Let's Play, and as far as from my experience of redoing this game again, I absolutely had a blast with it, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, thankfully with a much more improved quality, and especially noticeable with the commentary itself, is actually slightly better, and especially noticeable that no need for the forms of a darker tone color scheme or anything like that. So, And for the most part, guys, we are basically done with every single 3D Mario games Let's Play now. So either way, this is where we actually got into. Aside from when, God knows if Nintendo will able to actually announce the next new 3D Mario game, but God knows what might happen, but then again, we have to wait and see what happens in the future. So, thank you guys so much for watching for our Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine. This is me, Sonic the Hedgehog, from the likes of the Maxi Toys. And until then, have yourselves a great day, and a forewarning for this point, guys, stay safe if you're at home, which I'm sure most people already notice at this point, and hopefully you should be able to actually enjoy these kinds of videos like so. So either way though, yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. So see you guys then. Bye.